We just sold our van after 5 years of van life in search of a new adventure mobile for our family. Meet the Storyteller Hilt. As much as you guys probably want to know about the truck and the specs, I'm going to show you the inside because it's my favorite part. As you can see, there's much more space in this vehicle than there was in our previous van, which is what we were craving for our son Wyatt. I mean, just look at this kitchen alone. It's probably almost double the size of our kitchen in our previous rig. Here it has a full induction stovetop that can be covered if you need more prep space and if you don't want to use it. It also has the largest sink that I've ever seen in any type of adventure mobile. I mean, this thing is literally great. In addition to this large faucet, there's also a smaller one that is all filtered water, which is great so you never have to worry about your drinking water. There's also a really great pop-up outlet where you can actually just lay your phone right on it and charge. And it has a 120 volt, a USB, and a USB-C on the other side. So that's a really nice feature. Also, in addition to all this amazing prep space, there's huge amount of storage in this kitchen, and one of my personal favorite, a full trash can, which you don't usually get in most rigs, so that's really nice because you're not constantly emptying the trash. If you've seen our last two rigs, then you know that we prioritize storage, and this rig has no shortage of storage. All around the top are overhead cabinets for everything from food to Kevin's clothing, he's really neat, to Wyatt's toys. So storage for us is a big thing, and this definitely has it. Our absolute favorite part of this rig is this dinette / lounge space back here.
We tried to have a dinette space in our vans, but in the first one it was super inconvenient converting it from our bed, and in our second van it was basically Wyatt's crib space, so we never used it.
We've been in this rig for 4 days, and after Wyatt goes to sleep at night, we are actually able to utilize this space. Kevin's able to work. I was reading a book the other night, which absolutely never happens, or we're able to entertain and have like some snacks back here and not bother Wyatt while he's sleeping.
I love the open space in here and the natural light coming in from all 9 windows, if you're including the window on the door. It's just really, really nice. Even when it's raining and you're tucked inside here, you still can see the natural beauty. We're in Colorado. The mountains are amazing. It's just really, really nice.
Speaking of the windows, they all have screens and blackout curtains, which is super great for privacy and for sleeping. In addition to that, they are the awning style windows, so you can have them open in the rain if it's not too windy, which is really, really nice because then you get to hear it and you just feel like you're still outside.
Since we're only demoing this rig, we don't have a dedicated sleeping crib space for Wyatt, so Taylor and Wyatt have been sleeping together up on the queen size bed on the front, and I've been sleeping back here. So I just want to show you how easy it is to convert this into bed mode. There's dedicated spots for the table and the arm. It's really convenient. Table is gone, and when you're ready for bed, you just take these off. These actually have a hard bottom. And there you have it. I am 6'1", and I can sleep fine and have been sleeping fine side to side here. And I still have about feet on the bottom, another 5 inches. So this might be like 6'8" going across, which is insane.
Is it comfortable?
Yeah, it's really comfortable. I mean, like, if I'm right here, I mean, all 3 of us could sleep back here if we wanted to. Like, there's so much space. It's so nice. This could also be like
a really good movie section.
A movie lounge spot if we ever had time to watch movies. But you could put a little TV screen right there along the closet there. Just lounge back, eat some popcorn. Hopefully it's raining right there and just listen in.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I mean, just, I hope you guys can feel the amount of space here. And we'll go over the exterior of the truck in a little bit to show you how capable it is, but you basically have, it feels like a home, not in a condensed space like we had it in our van, and you can still go everywhere. It's been awesome. Anyway, back to the truck. In terms of height, I can stand almost straight up on the elevated platform of the lounge area. But on here, I can stand up just fine. I think this is 6'8", which again, you just have so much space. Taylor can walk freely without bending at all. And if I stand in the max air fan, I'm good to go.
Going back to storage and kitchen space, there is a full closet. It's a mess right now, so don't judge us, but this is a really nice feature. And there is a full fridge, which when you have kids, this is great because, I mean, Wyatt eats a lot of refrigerated food. Also, one of my favorite parts of this rig, which we didn't have in any van, I mean, we had one, but it was like so small that we never used it. But this rig actually has a freezer, which is like absolutely epic. I mean, what van lifer is able to have ice cream? I mean, we never could. Maybe I guess maybe if you prioritized like those little pints, maybe, but there was other things that we wanted to put in there, like chicken and things like that. So ice cream and things that you don't necessarily need, never made it. They also have a microwave, which we had in our last van, but this microwave is super, super intense. It has a convection oven and an air fryer aspect. So really, you kind of have everything you need when you're cooking in here, whether you want to... You have everything you need when you're cooking in here. Next, we are moving right along to the potty, which has been and will always be a must in any rig that we own. This one is a wet bath. It comes with a cassette toilet with a nice little flush feature. Don't have that in all of them. A great size mirror, which is awesome because in our last rig we didn't have that. A sink and just your shower stuff, you know. But it's really roomy. I was nervous that we weren't gonna have enough room, but like, it's roomy in here. And one nice feature is if it gets too hot after your shower and you don't want to get all of the moisture out into the rest of the rig, it even has this little fan where it pulls all the moisture water out. Great feature.
I used to be a non-believer of the sink in the bathroom because in such a small space, like our van, if we put a sink in there, it just didn't make sense. But this one has enough space where I actually use the sink in that bathroom. So it surprised me, and I have to just let everyone know I actually used it.
Right here up front in the last part of the tour is the queen bed where Wyatt and I have been sleeping. This is a nice area because you don't have to convert anything. It's just always ready. It also has nice outlets on both sides, windows all the way around, and a nice skylight, and storage on the side for books and, you know, anything you want when you're in bed.
Storage on both sides?
Storage on both sides. And air vents so that you can get heat or air conditioning.
So I'm going to correct Taylor there. It's only for the air conditioning for the vents through the roof. But in terms of AC, heat, vents, you have two max air fans, one in the back and one in the front above the bed. So you could circulate, or you can pull air through the windows and just have great airflow to keep you cool. If it's really, really hot, you do have a big AC that does have the ducting right here as well, two in the front as Taylor just mentioned, and two in the back, so you can stay nice and cool as well. And the battery bank, which I'll get to in a minute, is big enough to suffice where you could do it on the battery alone. Now, I don't have the blessing to sleep back here because we don't have the space for Wyatt, but if I did, I would open that window up and look at the stars at night because it's clear right above your head, which I think is a really, really cool feature, especially if you like stars.
A critical requirement for us for any truck camper is a pass-through, and this one has one, and it is so nicely padded that you can go in and out and never like hurt yourself because it's padded all the way around. You can even open it from this side. And then you can just crawl right through. Voila.
And don't worry guys, I can crawl through it as well. In my opinion, this is just absolutely critical from a safety perspective. God forbid you're in a sticky situation, and if you didn't have a pass-through, you would have to exit the vehicle to get into the driver's seat. So I don't know, maybe since we're traveling as a family now, I just think a pass-through in any type of vehicle like this is a must. We know this rig is a beast, but so is the electrical system. This thing has 16.8 kilowatts of power, which if you're converting that to amps for 12 volt, that's 1400 amp hours of 12 volt batteries. So in our rig, we had only 540 amp hours, and I thought that was pretty big. So this is massive. On the roof, there's also 1,320 watts of solar, so you don't really need to worry about running out of power. And I believe this thing charges through the alternator while we're driving as well. But yeah, it's a freaking beast. This touchscreen display here gives you all the information that you need. Your fresh tank and gray tank meter levels, your battery meter, and then your controls for your inverter or your lighting or your climate control. So you can control the hot water here, your water pump, your vents, your AC, and your heating. You also have this pretty cool feature called Magic Climate. So you just turn that on and you set whatever target temperature you want. And then this system will turn on the heat if it's called for, or the AC if it's called for, depending on the temperature outside of the rig and how it is inside, which is a really nice feature, especially if you have like a dog or something that you want to maintain at like 71, or even for us with a baby, we like to be at that like 68-degree temperature. So having this is really, really nice. I already mentioned the AC system, but the heating system is a hydronic heating system by Rixson, and they are an absolute gem of a company. Their customer service is amazing. We had them in our van as well, and we loved it. Lastly, you can also control all the lighting in this rig, and there are a lot of different lights. You have 6 different presets to set whatever you want. We're on preset 1, which turns everything on and brings it to its highest setting. Preset 2 for us is night mode, where we only have the toe kick lighting, so Wyatt can go to sleep and we can still interact. In the back, we have the reading lights on as well, which is really nice for us because we can see just fine and we're not disturbing Wyatt. And then, like I said, you could set your presets for anything else that you want. This is both for the interior and the exterior of the rig. So there's 4 side lights, LED lights, to see who's around you. You have an awning light as well as an entry light here too. So there's, they thought of everything. It's pretty good.
No shortage of lights.
That's correct.
Kevin forgot to talk about the plumbing system, which I'm surprised about because he's the system guy. But this rig actually has 120 gallons of fresh water, which is absolutely incredible. And we might actually only have to fill up 1 time on this trip.
That is fair. I did forget about the plumbing. We also have a 40-gallon gray tank as well, which is just insane.
There are 4 water pump buttons. There's one on the command center, and then there's one on each side of this kitchen galley, and there's even one outside for the outside shower, which is genius.
Starting outside, this thing has a massive awning. I think it expands 12 feet or something like that. We are a little close to trees right now, but I'm gonna kick it out and we'll see how far it goes before it hits the tree. Okay, we're a little close to the tree here, so I'm gonna stop it. It's about, I would say 3/4, maybe 5/8 the way there, but pretty good, even where we're currently at. Our little man loves his little bed, not little, but the bed up over the cab of the truck. It's like his little fort over there. If this was our rig full time, we would definitely set up the railing right along that wall so he could just play up there all the time. He absolutely loves it and goes nuts.
Absolutely nuts. He just hit his head on the window and he doesn't even care. He thinks it's just fun.
What are you doing? Is that your fort? So Taylor is gonna stay inside, keep Wyatt under control, and start dinner while I complete the truck, the exterior of the truck, and give you all the specs on this beast. The truck camper sits on a Ram 5500 crew cab chassis, and it's the limited edition, so this has all the bells and whistles. Starting with the engine, this thing has the 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel with 800 foot-pounds of torque and 360 horsepower. It's equipped with this mean 1/4-inch steel bumper and 20,000 pound synthetic rope winch. Its 360 lighting package has 5 8-inch KC lights in the front, 8 10-inch KC highlight light bars around the perimeter, and 4 KC highlights for fog lights in the bumper. This thing is loaded with lights. Unfortunately, we go to bed before the sun goes down with Wyatt, so we don't really get to use the lighting packages, but if we did, it would be pretty cool. We're sitting on the Hutchinson's 3-piece beadlock wheels and the 41-inch Continental multi-purpose tire, so we can air down really low if we get in a sticky situation. And with the dual ARB compressor on board with the 1-gallon tank, we can air right back up when we get on pavement. You can tell the rig is a little muddy right now because we've been traveling with our friends Greg and Jess, who have been taking us on some pretty gnarly terrain. But the good thing about this rig is that it has a liquid spring suspension. So we have 3 drive modes: comfort, normal, and sport. So when we're on the gnarly, bumpy terrain, we pop it into comfort mode. So we actually can drive on like washboard roads or over rocks and maintain a nice drive. It's not really too bumpy and it's relatively quiet, especially compared to the van where you just hear everything rattling. So that is really, really nice. And then if we get in a pickle where we have to go over an obstacle, or since we're so high, I think we're 12.5 feet high, we have the option to increase our height 6 inches or reduce our height 6 inches. It might be a little bit more, plus or minus a few inches. I'm not really sure 100%, but that functionality is really cool because there were a couple situations so far on this trip where we did have to reduce our height a little bit to get under a tree. And then we also increased our height just to get over an obstacle. We do have running boards on both sides of the truck, but the liquid springs also comes in handy when we put it in park. The suspension actually drops the truck a little lower, allowing us to get in and out of the vehicle much easier because this thing does sit pretty high up. On the exterior of the capsule, there's 3 lockable storage lockers. This is the biggest one on the driver's side and holds the electric winch for the spare tire on the rear, but there's plenty of storage for all of your outdoor gear or your tools, whatever you need. You have it. You have the electric smart plug 30 amp outlet here. I think you can charge your buddy too if you're caravanning with someone and they run out of power, God forbid. But you have that right here. To the left of me here is the access to the cassette toilet. So you just pop this right out and then just dump your waste wherever you're at, a porta potty or a dump station. So that's super clean and actually really convenient. This thing has 2 fuel tanks and combined 52 gallons. This is the fill to the auxiliary tank, and we just fill this one up and it actually feeds into the regular chassis one. So this is where we fill primarily on this trip. We've been averaging like 10 miles per gallon, I think, on this trip so far. Right below me is access to the outside shower. So you have a water pump button right here, a hot and cold water mixer. And you can also access your gray tank dump right here. You just pull this lever and you're ready to go. Here is your city fill for your 120 gallon freshwater tank. Again, I absolutely love that we can fill this thing up to 120 gallons of water. That's insane. This is your tank vent. So if you see water coming out of this, you know you're full. In terms of garage storage, you have 24 cubic feet pass-through storage here underneath the L lounge of the capsule. So this goes all the way through. There's a bunch of supplies in here right now, but we can fit our suitcase in on the other side. Welcome to the back of the rig. Here we have the massive spare tire. Again, you can use the electric winch to drop this down because I think this is like 250, maybe 300 pounds. On both sides of the tire, we have the N-Vader storage rack, so you can put any cargo gear that you want on here. We would primarily put our surfboards and maybe a ladder to the top of the roof. You also have the OEM parking sensors on the rear and the front, so you didn't have to sacrifice those when you put on this beast of the capsule to this rig, which is really nice. And of course, you have the massive trailer hitch if you needed to tow something as well. On the passenger side, we have the other side of the pass-through storage. We have a storage compartment here that's lockable and another one right by the door here. We also have an exterior 120 volt outlet. So if we're hanging outside and we need power, we can just plug right into this, which is really nice. Inside the truck, you have all the bells and whistles with the limited edition of this Ram 5500, which includes the 12-inch touch display, heated seats, cooling seats, heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, lane assist. We have the engine brake on here as well, so that's great for going on steep downhills. We can use the engine brake instead of putting all of the weight on the actual brakes along the wheels there, which is really, really nice, especially for a vehicle this size. You also have 6 aux buttons for your LED lights, and you also have the liquid spring suspension module in the cab to adjust the ride height and the comfort level of the drive as well. One thing that's really important to us is that it's a full-size cab, so there's plenty of space to fit a car seat in the back without me having to move the seat all the way to the front to drive like this with the wheel really close to my chest. I don't like that, and I love the fact that we can comfortably have Wyatt in here. We put him on the driver's side because the pass-through is closer to the passenger side, and we put him on the passenger side, then we want to be able to lower the seat to do that pass-through. But overall, the inside of this thing is just, you feel like you're riding in luxury, and it's really, really nice. We get it all?
We got it all.
Yeah? What's for dinner? I'm hungry.
Pesto pasta with broccoli and tomato.
All right.
Actually, Daddy's getting tortellini.
I'm getting tortellini. Look at this meal here. All right, well, I think that wraps up the tour for the truck camper. Again, we are in this for 10 days, putting it to the test to see if this is gonna be potentially our next rig. And so far, so good. We've been loving it. Yes, it is big. That might be the only drawback. We've been hanging out with Greg and Jess here with their truck camper, and we've been in one situation where it just got a little bit too narrow to push through. But other than that, it's pretty capable. We've been really putting it to the test, and we've been going on some pretty gnarly high country roads. But yeah, so if you have any questions or you want to see this be put to real use, then stay tuned because we have several other videos coming out. I forgot the most important question that you guys might have. What's the price of a rig like this? Yeah. And right now it is currently listed at $446,000. That is the see-through pricing. So if you have that, this might be a good opportunity for you, especially if you want to overland, especially if you want to do it full time and you want all the amenities that are inside your home. Yeah, right? You like it because you get to run around. You just had a bath. Yeah, but anyway, we're finally signing off.
Night.
Hope you like our new rig for the next 10 days or so. We really like it.
Oh,
and thank you, Storyteller, for letting us demo it. This is serious. This is a serious contender for our next move.